तस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। O descendant of Kuru, Brahma, the most independent demigod of the universe, accompanied by his followers, came to see the terrible fight for the sake of the world between the demon and the personality of Godhead, who appeared in the form of a boar. So in this chapter there is a fight between the Lord in the form of boar and Hiranyaksha, and Brahma and other devatas and great sages, they have assembled, they have gathered to witness the fight. Now eventually we'll see that when Lord is fighting, they all become anxious, right? They become anxious that this demon is not getting killed. The fight has prolonged so much. So they'll pray, they'll wish good, somehow. So whole point is, for the Lord, He is, what to say, the origin of everything and dissolution of everything. In Bhagavad Gita, multiple places Lord says, no, everything comes from me, and at the end everything rests in me. So whole universe, not only this earth planet or the, demon Hiranyaksha or Brahma, the whole universe goes inside the body of Lord. Everything gets winded up, in a flash, just in one breath of Lord. Right? Still He has created a situation of fight and anxiety and pastime. So sometimes there are two things in this. One, He is fighting like this. Just by His wish, He can settle everything down. And by His wish, He can kill Hiranyaksha. By His wish, He can place the earth back in its orbit. But He has engaged Himself in a pastime. So many times people think, what is the necessity for Lord to take so much of effort? Right? If He is Lord and by His will everything happens, then this can also happen. And in the same verse, incidentally in the same verse, there is a word used for Brahma that's called Swarat. And Swarat word in Bhagavatam itself, in first canto, first chapter, first verse, it's used for Supreme Lord. So Supreme Lord also Swarat, Brahma is also Swarat. So people equate. Same way, in second canto, there is a verse, Bhagwan Brahma Karsena Triranviksha Manishya. So Bhagwan Brahma. So Brahma is addressed as great personality. Prabhupada translates Bhagwan as great personality. But the word Bhagwan is used to indicate Brahma. The great personality Brahma, he scrutinizingly studied the Vedas 3 times. Right? And he arrived at a conclusion that attraction for Supreme Lord Krishna is the ultimate goal of study of Vedas. So there Lord Brahma is addressed as Bhagwan. Bhagwan Brahma Karsnena Triranviksha Manisha. Here Brahma is addressed as Swarat. So we have been always hearing, learning, Bhagwan means one who is full in 6 opulences, and Krishna's to Bhagwan Swayam. So same Bhagavatam calls Krishna also Swarat, Brahma also Swarat. Same Bhagavatam calls Krishna also Bhagwan, Brahma also Bhagwan. So people, they can mistake what? Krishna as equal to Brahma, or Brahma as equal to Krishna. So similar situation happened with Arjuna also. Right? Where it happened in Bhagavad Gita? In 4th chapter, where Lord Krishna says to Arjuna that first shloka, Imam vivasvata yogam proktavan am avyam. So I have spoken the science of, spiritual science of yoga, first to Vivaswan. Okay? The Lord of sun planet, sun god. So then he says, I am now continuing. Then Vivaswan spoke to Manu Ishvaku, and in this way it went on. And now that parampara got lost. Now I am speaking to you. So immediately Arjuna asks a question. Right? How can I understand this? How do I understand this? That yourself and myself are contemporaries. And he is very elder, he is very senior. No, we both were born together. Yudhishthira Maharaj and Bhima are senior. Nikul Sahadev are junior to Krishna. And Arjuna is of the same age. So, he is asking like that. How is it? That how can I understand? Like we are born together, and if somebody goes to another city, another country, it comes to be known to all the relatives. You have gone to another planet to preach sun god, and I don't know. Naturally, isn't it? This is going suddenly to another planet and preaching and coming back. So how do I understand that? You have preached to him. He is so elder. And if you have preached also not now, when it was, when Suryadev Vivaswan had to rule, and when he gave knowledge to Manu, so 120 crore years back. So that time, similar kind of doubt, that is Krishna equal to Brahma, is Krishna equal to Arjuna? So Krishna clarifies that. So he starts listing out how he is different from all the living entities. Right? Even though Krishna is appearing in a human body, just like Arjuna's body, two-armed, human-like form. Manusham tanum ashrita. But Krishna says, I am not like human beings. I am not like you. So he starts explaining. Right? Many births, both you and I have spent. Right? I remember all my births, but you don't remember. So when I had spoken 120 crore years back also, right, that time also I was there, you were also there, I remember, you don't remember. So Prabhupada explains in the purport that Lord's body is transcendental. His body never changes. Our body changes. So with change of body, our memory also changes. Our remembrance also changes. Lord's body just appears and disappears from vision. Otherwise, it's always there. It's perpetually the same, unchangeable, undeteriorated. So, for him there is no change, and for him there is no diminishing of memory. So, Lord Krishna remembers this. And for Arjuna, there is, as a human being, as a normal human being, there is repeated cycle of birth and death. Take birth and die, take birth and die. And with every birth and death, the memory of the previous birth also is taken away by the Lord as Paramatma. So, with this Krishna starts telling, this is the first thing, that I remember, you don't remember. Why? Because my body is eternal, your body is temporary. Then, next point he says, I am Ajam. Ajam means unborn. Right? So, 4th chapter, he continues, that I am unborn. So, this Ajam word is used for Brahma also. Right? So, Prabhupada explains that Brahma is also called Ajam or Aja because he is directly born of a father, not of a mother. Not as a combination of father and mother. No mother has given birth to him. Directly from the navel lotus he has born. So, he has not taken birth from any mother's womb. So, Brahma is also called Ajam. Now, Krishna is also called Ajam. Brahma is also called Ajam. Brahma is also called Swarat. Krishna is also called Swarat. Both are called Bhagavan. So, what is the difference then? So, Lord Krishna says, Aham Adirhi Devanam. I am the origin of Brahma, but I am Ajam, Anadi and Loka Maheshwaram. Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. Brahma is Ajam, but Brahma is not Anadi. He has a cause. What is that cause? Brahma has a cause, that is, he has come from me. Aham Adirhi Devanam. All the devatas, including Brahma, have come from me, but I am Ajam Anadi. Right? Brahma is Ajam, but he is not Anadi. I am Ajam and I am Anadi. So in 10th chapter he explains that I am unborn, but at the same time I don't have any origin. Brahma is also called unborn because he is not born from a mother's womb, but he has an origin, and that origin is myself. This is the difference between Supreme Lord and the living entities. Right? They may have similar characteristics, like Prabhupada is saying, Brahma is the representative of the Lord. So he has greater independence, he has greater powers, he has greater exhibition of his potencies, and even Lord's potencies, as much Lord empowers. but they are never equal to the Lord. Then Lord Krishna further goes on to say, I am Avya Atma. Avya Atma means my transcendental body never deteriorates. Brahma's body deteriorates. Arjuna's body deteriorates. Arjuna will become old, Brahma will become old, we all will become old. Right? The 6 kinds of transformations that will occur, and one day this body will be perished. But Lord says, Aham Avyam. My body never deteriorates, it never depletes, it never undergoes this kind of deterioration. So this is how Lord's body is different from our body. Correct? So now people ask that Krishna also was a child, then he also grew. Prabhupada says, yes, he was a child, he grew, but he never became old. Even in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, he was approximately 125 years old, but still he looked like 16-year fresh, youthful person. But there is a change, at least people argue, there is a change from infanthood to youth he came. So that is to manifest Leela Manush Vigraha. When Krishna is manifesting the pastimes as a human being to give pleasure to his devotees, right? He exhibits a transformation of body, but his body is actually not changing. His body is eternally the same, just to give that relational pleasure to his devotees, he exhibits that kind of transformation. So that Mother Yashoda feels satisfied that I fed Krishna and he grew up. Otherwise, that pleasure of motherhood will not be derived by Mother Yashoda. Oh, ये तो पहले से बड़ा बच्चा आया है, इसको खिला के मैंने बड़ा किया. No, that pleasure will not be there for Mother Yashoda. So Lord's body does not undergo changes like our body does. Our body undergoes changes under the influence of 3 modes, under the influence of Kala and Karma, like we were hearing yesterday from Madhubhan Prabhu's class. So it is fixed that this Jiva will get a body, and at certain point of time, at this speed, his body will grow, his body will remain, and his body will dwindle and perish. This is predetermined. For Lord, it's not like that. Out of his own free will, when he took birth as an infant, he immediately showed 400 Vishnu form also. Right? And many times he showed so many, manifestations to Vrajvasis, to Maharaj Nanda, to Yashoda Mata. So his body is not under the influence of Kala or Karma. He voluntarily takes up this as a pastime to give pleasure to his devotees. Then further Lord goes on to explain to Arjuna how he is different from other living entities. Bhutanam Ishvaro. So he is a Lord of all sentient beings. All the living entities, right, are under his control. Sarva Lok Maheshwaram. Prabhupada explains it in 2 ways. Loka means people also. Lok Kalyan, Lok Janta, that is called Lok. And Lok means planet also. So when Lord Krishna is declaring that he is Sarva Lok Maheshwaram, then even though Brahma may be called Swarat or Bhagwan or Ajam, whatever, but he is under the influence. Prabhupada says Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, all the demigods and all their planets, all the living entities and all their planets are under supreme control of the Supreme Lord or Lord Krishna. So, Sarva Loka Maheshwaram, this nobody else can claim. So when Arjuna is asking, you appear to be similar to me, Krishna is saying, no, I am not similar to you. I am different from you. Right? I am the Lord and Master of all the living entities. I am Lord and Master or controller of all the planets. So I am the controller of the whole universe. So everything is going on under my supervision, under my direction. So no Jiva can claim he has a full control. Brahma has a control, right, over this universe. But Brahma doesn't have control over his own self. When Mahavishnu breathes in, right, if Brahma is not liberated and Brahma does not go back to Godhead, with this universe, Brahma also has to go inside the body of Mahavishnu. Right? So Brahma is also not supreme controller. He is also in control. A Brahma Bhunan Loka Punaravartin Arjuna. Even from Brahma Loka up to Brahma, everybody is under cycle of birth and death. So nobody can claim to be supreme or the strongest. Only Krishna can claim. Prabhupada says, if somebody says, I am the strongest, can he defeat old age and disease and death? If you are the strongest, Maya is forcing you to become old. Can you defeat that? You cannot. So how you are strongest? Maya is stronger than you. You don't want to become old. Maya is pushing you towards old age. You don't want to die. Durga Devi is pushing you towards death. So she is stronger than you. Who can claim? Only Krishna can claim to be strongest. If you take shelter of Krishna, then you can overcome. So you cannot defeat Maya. You cannot defeat old age, disease, death, birth, these things. So same way Brahma, he was put there. He did not come by his free will on the lotus flower. And when the annihilation happens, Brahma has to go. So Brahma can be chief demigod of this universe, but he is not supreme control of the universe or supreme control of his own life. His life is also under control of somebody else. That is Supreme Lord. Then Lord says next, Srijami Aham. Right? So, 2 places he says, right, that I appear by my own free will. So Lord does not appear by his karma. He appears by his free will. When he decides to appear, he appears. He pre-decides that, okay, I want to go. And we see in Bhagavatam also, when Lord was about to come, before that Brahma and all the demigods, they went to Shvetadipa on the shore of the Kshira Sagar, and Brahma was meditating, he was praying. So Lord had sent a message that soon I am going to appear on the earth, I am going to incarnate. So ask all the demigods and their wives to go and get ready for my, to receive me, to participate in my pastimes. So he has already decided he is going to come, right? And he is instructing all the devatas, including Brahma, that you please go and make arrangements. So everybody came. They all took their positions wherever they had to, and they prepared for Lord's arrival. So Lord decides when he has to come by his own free will. So he is not bound by karma, that, oh, now it's his time is due, so he has to take birth. His time is due, so he has to die. His time is due, so he has to, grow or whatever. This is bound on us. So in this way, step by step, Lord Krishna is establishing to Arjuna in 4th chapter that we are not the same. Right? You are different, I am different. So this is first instance where Arjuna understands this. Right? Arjuna understands this. Even though he is looking Manusham Tanu Mashritam, right, or Leela Manush Vigraha, he is looking like me, but he is not the same as me. And that's what Vyasadeva also says, Shri Bhagwan Uvacha. He is establishing that this is Bhagwan. Right? Then further he says, Lord Krishna further goes on explaining that my birth and activities, Janma Karma Chame Divyam, these are transcendental. My birth is transcendental, my activities are transcendental. If you know them in truth, you will get liberated. You will come back to me in just one life. So how spiritually powerful are Lord's birth and activities, which Lord is doing just by knowing them in truth. Right? One who understands that Lord's birth is transcendental, not like ours. Lord's activities are transcendental, not like ours. Right? He is a Loka Maheshwaram, he is Ajam, Anadim, Divyam, Vibhum, and so on. So one who knows this, he will get liberated. One who knows this will go to Krishna and never take birth again. Tyaktva deham punarjanma neti mahameti swarjana. So Lord's birth is just not full of power or defeating the material laws or these kind of things, but his birth and activities, his transcendental form, is spiritually so potent that just knowing or hearing about these, understanding these in truth, can liberate a person and take them straight back to Godhead. Right? And then further Lord concludes in the 10th shloka of 4th chapter that in the past, Vitrag Bhaya Krodh Manmaya Mam Upashita Bahavo Jnana Tapsa Puta Madbhavam Agata. By knowing these and becoming free from Rag, Bhaya and Krodh, that is attachment, fear and anger. Many people in the past, they have attained transcendental love for me. So Lord's birth, Lord's activities are so divine, so transcendental. Just by hearing them properly from authorized source, just by understanding them with our intelligence, with our faith, one can develop love for Godhead. That's why in Navida Bhakti, all the nine processes of Bhakti, they are capable. Each process is individually capable of taking a living entity back to Godhead. Or that Shravanam, kirtanam. So just Shravanam of Lord, His transcendental activities, His transcendental birth, His transcendental form, right? His energies. Just hearing these, just understanding these can give one love of Godhead, can take one back to Godhead. So in this way, Lord Krishna is establishing to Arjuna that I am not the same, even though there are many who are called these adjectives, Bhagwan, Ishvaraha, or what do you say, Swarat, Prabhu, these kind of words which are used for Supreme Lord are used for others also. But they are not on the same platform as Lord. There are some unique features of Lord which nobody else has. Right? Nobody can claim to be the origin of all living entities. Lord Krishna says, Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. So there may be many Bhagwans, many Prabhus, many Swarats, but nobody can say all living entities have come from me. Nobody can say, like Krishna says, nobody can say I am the origin of all the spiritual and material worlds. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate. Only Krishna can claim this. Brahma is Swarat, Brahma is Bhagwan, but he appeared after the universe appeared. He did not create the universal shell. He did not create the lotus flower. He did not create the Garbhodaka ocean. These were already there. He came and sat on that. He didn't come and sit. He was put on that. Right? He was made to sit on that. So, before Brahma came, all these things were there. Who created? Only Krishna can claim that I have created. So, this is a unique position of Krishna. This is a unique feature of Krishna. So, unless one understands this, right? So, one cannot develop that love and devotion for Krishna. And to understand this, one has to take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. To understand Krishna Tattvataha, one has to go to a Tattvadarshi. After coming to a Tattvadarshi, now we see here Brahma and sages, they are offering prayers, they are offering flowers, they are in their hearts, they are worshipping the Lord, they are meditating on the form of the Lord, they are jubilant to see the Supreme Lord because they have that knowledge. So Lord Krishna says, after listing out all his qualities in the 4th chapter, he says, in the past many have worked with this understanding of mine. Right? Those who have understood that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, He is the master of all the living entities, right? He is the, source of all the living entities, He is the Supreme Controller. Then with this knowledge, people work as service to Krishna. So in 4th chapter, very interestingly, Lord Krishna explains this, that one who goes to a bona fide spiritual master, one who goes to a bona fide spiritual master and learns the truth from him. So what does he learn? So, first Krishna says that just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master, inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth. Right? After that, what does he learn when he goes to a spiritual master, a bona fide spiritual master? And when you have thus learned the truth, you will know. So after approaching a bona fide spiritual master, what does one learn or what does one know? That all living entities are but part of me. Right? And that they are in me and are mine. So this is what Lord Krishna is explaining to Arjuna, that knowing me in truth means knowing that you are mine, you belong to me. So one has to work for Krishna, one has to serve Krishna, one has to glorify Krishna, not like Hiranyaksha who is fighting Krishna, right, in the form of Varahadev. So Lord, this very nicely, again, in 15th verse, he says, all the liberated souls in the ancient times acted with this understanding and so attained liberation. Therefore, as the ancients, you should perform your duty in this divine consciousnness. So, Arjuna inquired, how do I understand, your position? So, Lord Krishna explained this and he says, in the past, many great souls, they have acted with this understanding. So, with this divine consciousness, you should also work. So, hearing about Krishna repeatedly and in different aspects, in 11th chapter, Arjuna declares. In 10th chapter, Arjuna says, you are Param Brahma, Param Dham, Pavitram, Param Bhavan. Arjuna got proper understanding, full understanding of Krishna. And he says, whatever you tell, whatever you say to me, Krishna, I'll accept it as truth. isn't it? So Arjuna glorifies Krishna and he corroborates that whatever I am saying is also spoken previously by Narada, Asit Deval and many other great sages. So it's not a flattery that I am doing, it's a proper understanding which I am expressing to you. Then see Arjuna's mood, how it was in second chapter of fourth chapter, that how do I understand? Right? If Arjuna already knew all these qualities of Krishna, he wouldn't ask this question. So he is asking, how do I understand that you have done this? Now in 11th chapter, when Krishna shows his universal form on request of Arjuna, Arjuna's total mood changes. Right? He is starting to beg pardon from Krishna. That, oh, sorry, I treated you as my friend. I treated you as some equal to me. Right? In jokingly manner, I have many times insulted you or mocked at you. Done so many frivolous things with you, playful things with you, which I shouldn't have done to the Supreme Lord. So I request you to pardon me, just as a father pardons the son, or a friend does not take offense of another friend, or a lover does not consider this kind of activities seriously for his beloved. So please forgive me. So Arjuna already understood in the 10th chapter, 11th chapter, he says that Krishna, you are Parameshwar, you are Param Purush, But still, when Krishna manifested this form, his original form, Arjuna realized with whom he was dealing, right? With whom he was dealing, and that sealed all the transcendental knowledge for Arjuna. This is the culmination of his knowledge. He has heard from Krishna, he has experienced Krishna, he has visually seen the manifestation, the gigantic Virat form, innumerable potencies of Krishna. He has seen unlimited feature of Krishna. So Arjuna understands this. With this understanding, again, what is Arjuna's conclusion? I surrender to you. Right? So, however one understands Krishna, right? The conclusion, right understanding, takes one to this conclusion that I have to surrender to Krishna, I have to serve Krishna. Those who do not understand Krishna, then they compete with Krishna, or they are envious of Krishna and deride Krishna. So here we see in the same verse, three kinds of personalities are mentioned. One is Supreme Lord is mentioned, right? One, the opponent of Supreme Lord, that is a demon, is mentioned, and one, the devotee or surrendered soul to Supreme Lord, Brahma, is mentioned, right? And all this is told by Maitreya Rishi to Vidura. So how Maitreya Rishi is explained to Vidura that see there are three personalities. One is Supreme Lord, right, who is the control of both the demon also and the devotee also. But what is the mood of the demon and what is the mood of a devotee with respect to Lord? So this verse in its summary carries the position of the Lord, the position of a demon or the stance of a demon towards the Lord, and the mood of a devotee towards the Lord, right? So this understanding, this transcendental knowledge, change in consciousness comes by this. That's why Lord Krishna says in 4th chapter again, there is nothing so sublime and pure as this transcendental knowledge. One who understands even little, his progress will start, right? His liberation from the cycle of birth and death will start. One who doesn't understand, or one who is not willing to understand due to any reason, then there is no escape for him. Right? So we'll stop here. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to never miss any updates.